A very good evening to you. I am Ryan Broom with the Wednesday, October 11th edition of the CBC Evening News. In our top story, the fight to stamp out violence in Barbados is intensifying. Attorney General Adriel Brathwaite today announced sweeping changes to the treatment of local gangs and the granting of bail as a national consultation on violence got underway. To assist, he says a special court may be needed to prosecute certain crimes deemed as serious. Our Kareem Smith was at the consultation and filed this report.
Earlier this year, Attorney General Adriel Brathwaite outlined a number of measures to combat gun violence in this country. But during today's consultation, he's providing more clarity on the way forward. It's going to be much more difficult for those charged with murder and firearm-related offenses to be granted bail. In fact, the Attorney General says if proposed amendments to the Bail Act are approved, those charged with offenses may have to spend at least 18 months on remand before bail is offered.
We, meaning society, have expressed lots of concern about the fact that persons on murder charges and persons on serious firearm-related charges and seem to go into prison for a couple of days and come back out, etc. We're placing a window of 18 months that such persons cannot be granted bail.
Acknowledging the problems such laws could cause, as well as the country's slow justice system, he's also announcing the possibility of having a special court set up to adjudicate certain serious criminal matters.
We're not moving towards just having people incarcerated for 18 months and then they're released after 18 months. It is our hope and prayer through our systems and our collective efforts that 18 months window will be used to ensure these guys that the cases are started. We may have to go in the direction like some other territories in terms of having a serious crimes court so that these matters are fast-tracked.
Steps are also being taken to make sure gang members don't escape the firm hand of the law. The AG says 20 to 25 years in prison is what they will be facing once proposed anti-gang legislation is approved by Parliament. Police, regional security system officials, and criminal justice research have identified local gangs, especially in the St. Michael area, as one of the major contributors to violent crime. And as a result, these groups will not be taken lightly.
These persons corrupt many of our young men and women. And from what you're being told, and send them into our societies to commit some very serious crimes. They're not heroes. They belong behind bars. And that's why we want to give specific legislation to deal with them.
The AG acknowledges that some of the measures are a bit harsh and that rehabilitation of offenders is the ultimate goal. However, he says there are just some criminals who cannot be saved. Kareem Smith, CBC News.
Thanks, Kareem. Well, in other news, a warning tonight from the Labour Minister that all offenders, whether male or female, could be prosecuted under proposed new laws to protect workers from sexual harassment on the job. Senator Dr. Esther Bayer-Suckoo made that clear as the upper chamber debated this Employment Sexual Harassment Prevention Bill 2017.
It is not just women. In case you doubt me, I have had people say to me, I have had men say to me that they have been harassed by women at work. I have had women say to me that they are harassed by women at work. And men say to me that they are harassed by men at work. So it goes every which way. And that is why, as I mentioned before, this legislation is gender neutral.
The Labour Minister also listed some of the actions identified in the bill as sexual harassment.
The use of sexually suggestive words, comments, jokes, gestures, or actions that annoy, alarm, or abuse a person, again making that workplace hostile. The initiation of uninvited physical contact with a person. The initiation of unwelcome sexual advances or the requests of sexual favors from a person. Asking a person intrusive questions that are of a sexual nature that pertain to a person's private life. Transmitting sexually offensive writing or material of any kind, making sexually offensive telephone calls to a person, or any other sexually suggestive conduct of an offensive nature.
In other news, staying on that topic, an opposition senator believes government needs to embark on a serious public awareness campaign to educate Barbadians about the new sexual harassment legislation. Senator Wilfred Abrams says Barbadians, by their very nature, are friendly and they need to understand what is inappropriate.
Our default word when you can't recall somebody's name is to call them sweetheart, or love, or darling. And it is not necessary that you mean anything by it. But the fact that you mean nothing by it does not mean that the term is not offensive to the person upon whom it is bestowed. A sensitive person or a Christian person may not feel comfortable with you calling them by the same term of endearment that their spouse calls them.
Senator Abrams says the workplace is also a peculiar space and believes people in businesses should be trained to deal with sexual harassment complaints.
It is not easy to go and say to your supervisor, I am feeling harassed by my coworker or by my boss. It is not easy because that supervisor, that person you're complaining to also works with the boss and with the other employee.
In other news now, the tourism industry is continuing to deliver money-making opportunities for Barbadians. And come next week, Sandals Barbados will be offering hundreds of jobs to Barbadians as they continue to expand. Our Kareem Smith again has the story.
In just over 2 months, 700 Barbadians are expected to fill positions here at the spanking new Sandals Royal Resort. The 220-room property is still under construction, but management is eager to have a full complement of staff very soon. According to Public Relations Officer for Sandals Barbados, David Hines, it's because 95% of the rooms are already booked for the upcoming winter season. In fact, from October 16th to 18th, they'll be embarking on a job fair, their largest recruiting drive to date.
All positions are on the table, whether you want to be in maintenance, housekeeping, front office, cook, chef, dining room, you name it. I'm sure we have positions there which persons can apply. As we always say, bring the smells, we'll teach the skills. So we're really looking for those individuals who are, I would say, energetic, bubbly, that personality, which not only gets along with our guests, but our already existing team members and our management staff. Those are the persons primarily we're looking for.
And the ever-expanding resort chain will be offering an array of amenities.
We're going to have our first bowling alley, immense spa, bigger spa than was already there. And the beautiful thing about this property is you have access to both Sandals Barbados and Sandals Royal. So it's a situation where you can stay at Sandals Barbados, the existing property, and still be able to enjoy the amenities over on Sandals Royal and vice versa.
Mr. Hines says not many supervisory and management positions will be on offer at the job fair. However, once employed at Sandals, the opportunities for growth are endless.
I started at what you called lower level and paid my dues and rose up the ranks and so on. So use it as inspiration to get a foot in the door, and then we worry about promoting and coming up. If you have it, we can't stop talent, and that's the honest truth. So although it's entry level, you get a foot in the door, you experience it, and you grow.
The fair takes place at the Lloyd Erskine Sandyford Center, and officials are confident they can offer long-term opportunities to Barbadians, even in these tough economic times. Kareem Smith, CBC News.
Thanks, Kareem. Well, we'll take a pause here, but we'll have more news after the break.
Upgrade to Digicel's Quick Pick Bundles. Save big on data. Get data and get unlimited WhatsApp messaging and Digicel Talk. Pick a 1-day bundle, a 7-day bundle, or for the best value, a 30-day bundle. Save money every single day. Pick the bundle that's right for you. Go to My Digicel app or dial *246 to buy a Quick Pick bundle today. Digicel.
Community Files. Learn more about mental health in the workplace when the Psychiatric Hospital holds its health fair in the main car park on Friday, October 13th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Win prizes and get free samples and health checks too. For more information, contact Michelle at 536-3028 or Yvette at 536-3025.
Do you want audience numbers? Over 140,000 people are watching Morning Barbados and the evening news. 6 out of 10 top radio personalities are found right here at the CBC. CBC delivers the audience you need.
The Salvation Army Barbados Division takes this time to appeal to all Barbadians to support this effort to help our Caribbean brothers and sisters in Dominica, who are desperately in need of the following items: canned foods and other non-perishable foods, bottled water, Pampers, children and adults, children educational material, bed cots. These items can be donated to the Salvation Army at their other institutions across Barbados, or call 426-2467 or 228-1361, and arrangements will be made to collect these donations. Please note no clothing necessary. We also welcome any monetary donations to this effort through our local account at Scotiabank, account number 000-901-9858. The Salvation Army Appeal.
Welcome back. Well, the Springers Memorial School has embarked on a drive promoting water consumption after being inspired by the Barbados Water Authority's education and information program, Water Wednesdays. Every Wednesday, students will be pushing water as an alternative to sugary drinks amongst its school body. Already, the school has the backing of the BWA. A team led by Manager of Communications and the Rapid Response Unit, Joyanne Haig, surprised the school, donating a water cooler. They also announced their sponsorships for next year's Barbados Secondary Schools Athletics Championship. Ms. Haig says educational posters will also be developed, highlighting the importance of drinking water and conservation, among other areas. Parents of students, along with teachers, will also be afforded the opportunity to apply and purchase a water tank through the BWA's Personal Tank program.
It's a tank at a reasonable price because we don't charge interest on the tank, and we have to go through a process of selection, and not everybody might be able to qualify. But I want to let the principal know that before we leave here, we are extending that to all of the teachers, a personal tank, and at a reasonable cost. It's actually less than $100 a month. They will get the concrete base, they're going to get a tank, it's going to be fully installed with all of the plumbing equipment and a pump, and it's going to be available to the staff of the Springer School.
Meanwhile, during a pep talk, Director of the Projects Division, Wayne Richards, encouraged the students to set goals. He believes among the student body are future BWA employees.
So like in the next 4 years, say, like, where would you want to be? Is it that you want to be in sixth form at Springer, or you're going to community college? What skill you plan to acquire? At all stages of life, it is a learning process. Don't ever stop learning. As you grow, you can evolve. As you evolve, then you can find a suitable, I guess, and I'm hoping that you evolve and get suitable careers with Barbados Water Authority probably one of these days.
In other news, thousands of school children have been planting some very special seeds over the last 5 years, and the trees that have blossomed have helped them to excel in both their studies and in their lives in general. That's according to Ricardo Marshall, who coordinates the National School Awards. He is also responsible for the Tree of Hope initiative, which this year started at the Roland Edwards Primary. Mr. Marshall explains that the idea was inspired by the hard work and success of his daughter, Satira Watson, who gained a series of scholarships and is now a qualified medical doctor. He says each school was asked to choose a word toward which the students can aspire. The words are then pinned to the Tree of Hope, which is taken to a different school every week.
Seeing her actually achieve these type of things, at that time it was just multiple scholarships and stuff like that. Then I just thought that all the other schools then, each child could achieve basically with the right encouragement and the right support. I think all is basically lacking, in my opinion, is the opportunity. That's all. So this program is here to give the students that support, encouragement, and at the end of the day, the opportunity to let them know that at the end of the day, they could reach their goals too once they assert themselves.
And head boy at Roland Edwards Primary, Joseph Young Chu, says his word is excellence, while 9-year-old Destiny Howell of Sela Primary chose versatility.
Because we all want to aim for excellence in our behavior, schoolwork, and attitude.
It means ability to have a lot of talents, and they have a lot of talents.
The tree was on display in Cape Shepherd, Broad Street today and will travel to the Good Shepherd Primary School next Tuesday. Well, several politicians and local celebrities partnered with the breast screening program of the Barbados Cancer Society, spreading the message of breast cancer awareness. Minister of Labour, Senator Dr. Esther Bayer-Sakou, Opposition Leader Mia Motley, former Minister of Foreign Affairs Dame Billy Miller, and businessman Ralph Busy Williams were among those on hand at Sheraton Centre, assisting with the ongoing Pink Ribbon Week drive. Medical coordinator of the breast screening program of the Barbados Cancer Society, Dr. Shirley Jagru, says the Pink Ribbon drive is its biggest fundraiser.
With the Pink Ribbon, which is what we've been doing since 2000 actually, is for both awareness and for fundraising. Now, so we look at Pink Ribbon now, and the Pink Ribbon sales and the Pink Ribbon selling all over the island for the whole week as a continuation of the awareness program.
Thank you so much.
Today we have invited celebrities, and we do this every Wednesday during Pink Ribbon Week. Celebrities to talk to the public and pin ribbons on the public and to encourage them to be aware of the breast and the breast cancer incidence amongst women.
And Minister of Labour, Senator Dr. Esther Bayer-Sakou, says she has been a part of the annual exercise for about 10 years. Though she believes the message is getting through to Barbadians, she stressed it must be continually reinforced.
You find with every generation of women, you have to come back to the message. So you can't sit back tomorrow and say, okay, our work is done. There's another group of young ladies coming up next year whose mothers may never have had a discussion with them, who may not have had a mother to have that discussion with. So you have to make sure you reach them as well. So as long as they're women, men have to screen as well, but it's more complex for women to screen. So we have to continue to get the message across.
The leader of the opposition, Mia Motley, says early testing is essential. She wants to see more women and men getting their breasts screened.
Dr. Jagru has indicated that there has been a 40% fall off in the number of persons being tested this year, and that's a matter of major concern for us. So I want to use this opportunity to appeal to all Barbadian women in particular to go and get tested. The Barbados Cancer Society will do the mammogram there. It's $80. The truth is, it is worth it.
And former MP for the city of Bridgetown, Dame Billy Miller, a cancer survivor of 25 years, fully supports the breast cancer awareness campaign.
25 years ago, 1 in every 8 women in the world could expect to present with breast cancer. 25 years later, today, it is still 1 in every 8 women who can expect. So and there are more people in the world. So our job does not get easier, and we are resolute about it.
In other news, the Lions Club of Barbados South is pitching in and playing a part in the fight against blindness and visual impairment during this Sight Preservation Month. And the local service club has joined with its fellow organizations across the globe, committing to a special worldwide week of service called Sight First. President Cindy Small says the week, which started yesterday, will run until Monday. The club also reached out to the Barbados Association of the Blind and Deaf, presenting a much-needed donation. Meanwhile, the Lions Club of Barbados South will be visible raising funds through a tin project.
All funds collected from this Sight First tin project will go towards a worthwhile venture. On Thursday, the 12th of October, and the remaining Thursdays in October, the 19th and the 26th, we will be at Emerald City Supermarket, where we will be distributing literature on eye care and giving away eyeglasses for reading purposes, and try to sensitize and mobilize the public of Sight First awareness.
In other news, the caregivers at the psychiatric hospital were the ones being taken care of yesterday. They were pampered during the institution's Staff Appreciation Day as part of activities to commemorate Mental Health Week. Our Kent Jerson was there and filed this report.
Pedicures, manicures, reflexology treatments, and much more for staff at the psychiatric hospital. They were the ones on the receiving end of these services as the institution's way of saying thank you for the hard work they do on a daily basis. Dr. Keo Ford St. Hill was among the staff members to take full advantage of the pampering.
It's definitely a welcome for me because I was on call last night, so I was very happy to have Staff Appreciation Day today. So the services that they have available, you get manicures, pedicures, back scrub, back massage. I personally had a back scrub and a back massage before this, and that was excellent. And then they have reflexology as well, and they had, well, I didn't get it, but I heard they had eyebrow waxing as well. So it's very appreciated by the staff because it's nice to get pampered because we take care of people every day.
The organizer was nursing sister Sharon Sargent, who said the services were not randomly chosen.
We looked at the services that we believe would have been more beneficial to our staff, and we paid a lot of attention to foot care. So we have reflexologists in today, we have persons doing manicures and pedicures and massages. So we looked at those services because, you know, our staff are on their feet daily. So we believe that to relieve that would have been a good thing for them.
The service providers included 15 students from the Princess Margaret Secondary School's cosmetology program. Their teacher, Jeanette Burke-Innes, says in addition to practicing their skills, the lesson here was also about giving back.
I wanted the children to give back, so I brought them here about 5-6 years ago, and we've been involved in this program from 6 years ago until now.
Some services were also provided by Mel's Nail School and Salon. Owner Melissa Clemens also viewed it as a good training opportunity.
For the second year around, we're here working with the psychiatric hospital for the week of activity, and what the students would have learned in the classroom, we now bring to the forum for practice on their members of staff.
The services were provided from as early as 7 in the morning and continued throughout the day. Kent Jerson, CBC News.
Some services that I'm sure we could all do with. Now, still to come, a look at some of the stories making headlines across the region.
This year, Quartz is saying thank you to all of our shoppers. We have enjoyed serving you through the years, and we take this time to thank you for choosing us. As always at Quartz, we have you in mind with great offers, gifts, and prizes in store for you this season. For your chance to enter the Quartz Thank You Sweepstakes, just spend $799 and over.
As we look to the future, we promise to give you exceptional service and great products at the best prices.
Quartz, bringing value home.
If you've been living in pain and you're tired of trying products that just don't work, you are not alone. Try Omega XL. This natural anti-inflammatory is effective at relieving pain and the symptoms of inflammation. Omega XL is the all-natural anti-inflammatory that has more available omega-3s than regular fish oil. Experience results you can feel. Now available in Jamaica. Visit your local pharmacy or health food store today. Start putting an end to your pain with Omega XL.
Help support the restoration efforts for the hundreds of thousands affected by catastrophic hurricanes. Donate to the Red Cross Hurricane Relief account at any branch of the following: CIBC First Caribbean, account number 10011633436. First Citizens, 500-900-00588. RBC Royal Bank, 210-05073. And Republic Bank, 01804-153-1001. Monies raised will be sent to the International Red Cross for its restoration work for affected persons. Appeal closes 30th November 2017. Persons wishing to post checks should make these out to Red Cross Hurricane Relief Appeal Account and post to Barbados Red Cross Society, P.O. Box 300 Bridgetown, or hand deliver to the Red Cross Warrens Headquarters. The Barbados Red Cross and commercial banks, on behalf of the victims of catastrophic hurricanes, thank all persons and businesses for their contributions.
Can the great duo of LeBron and D-Wade back together again do it? Can Carmelo teaming up with Westbrook and George do it? Or will Curry and the Warriors dominate once again? Catch all your NBA basketball action starting October 17th on MCTV's Sportsmax channel. MCTV, the right choice.
Across the Caribbean, brought to you by CIBC First Caribbean.
After spending 6 months in the United States jail, a deported Guyanese man has been remanded to prison for attempted murder. More now from Javon Vickery.
It is alleged that on February 3, 29-year-old Kurt Kendall, being armed with a gun at Mandela Avenue, discharged a loaded firearm at Christopher Marks with intent to murder him. Kendall was not required to plead to the indictable charge. The accused man was wanted by the police for a series of crimes in Guyana, including robbery. Reports indicate that shortly after the incident back in February, Kendall had flown to the United States, but was intercepted by law enforcement agents there. He was caught with cocaine at JFK International Airport and was subsequently placed behind bars for 6 months in the U.S. Kendall, after serving his time, was then deported on October 6 to Guyana, where he was arrested at CGIA. Bail was refused and he will return to court on October 17.
A human rights advocate in St. Lucia wants the authorities to address the country's spiraling crime situation and to do so without capital punishment on the statute books. Mary Francis's call is in keeping with the theme for the 2017 observance of World Day Against the Death Penalty.
Now in its 15th year, the day was first observed in 2003 by the World Coalition Against the Death Penalty, or WCADP. This year's theme seeks to highlight and raise awareness on the reasons individuals of the lower socioeconomic brackets are at greater risk of receiving death sentences. Coordinator of the National Center for Legal Aid and Human Rights, Attorney Mary Francis, a self-professed abolitionist, described the death penalty as, quote, too final, irreversible, and sometimes susceptible to errors. Another solid reason for its abolishment, she adds, is that the death penalty has been applied disproportionately over the years. And by that she means that poor people are the ones more likely to be sentenced to death.
As it is there now in St. Lucia, there is there's an increase in violent crime among the youth, and persons are calling for the reintroduction of the death penalty because since 1995 we have not executed anybody. But this is not the way to go, because we have to look at the origin of this increase in violent crime among young people. Do we execute all those young people who murder one another? No. We have to look to the social economic conditions under which those people live, which have produced those people, the drug climate, the guns related to drugs and so forth.
In this regard, the attorney says St. Lucia must adopt the recommendations contained in the UNDP 2012 report, Human Development and the Shift to Better Citizen Security. The UNDP urges governments in the region to adopt strategies to solve issues of poverty and introduce more equity to the justice system, particularly in terms of access to justice for the poor.
Across the Caribbean, brought to you by CIBC First Caribbean.
Well, still to come, sports news with Anne-Marie Burr, but first a tip from Cooperators General Insurance.
This tip of the day is brought to you by Cooperators General Insurance Company Limited. Insurance the way you want it to be.
October is celebrated internationally as Breast Cancer Awareness Month. This tip is brought to you in association with the Barbados Cancer Society Breast Screening Program.